Far beyond the mortal lands, hidden behind silver mist and moonlit waterfalls, there lay a secret valley untouched by time. In its heart bloomed the garden of eternal balance, a place where two seasons lived side by side, eternal spring on one side, gentle winter on the other. The spring half was a sea of roses, each bloom unfolding in colors so vivid they seemed to hold drops of sunrise within their petals. Soft scents of honey, citrus, and fresh rain floated through the air. Butterflies shimmered like fragments of living rainbows, and the earth was warm under bare feet. The winter half was a kingdom of snow, soft, pure, and glittering like a million fallen stars. Ice crystals hung from silver branches, and the air carried the soothing hush of falling snowflakes. The ground crunched gently underfoot, and in the distance, frozen ponds mirrored the sky like polished glass. Guarding each side of this magical realm were two fairies, Rose Fairy, who ruled over the blossoms, and Snow Fairy, who tended the frost. Rose Fairy had hair the shade of deep crimson petals and eyes like golden amber warmed by sunlight. She wore a gown sewn from silky rose petals, each layer shifting in color from blush pink to velvety red. Her touch could coax buds into bloom. Her voice could calm even the wildest bees. Snow Fairy had hair white as new fallen snow, flowing like frost-laced silk, and eyes the pale blue of frozen lakes under winter sun. She wore a gown woven from snow threads and icy crystals, sparkling whenever she moved. Her touch could shape delicate snowflakes, and her breath carried the scent of cold pine. Every morning, the two met where their realms touched, the narrow strip where frost kissed the roses and roses bloomed in the snow. There they spoke, laughed, and worked side by side, keeping the garden's magic alive. Their days always began in harmony. Rose Fairy would arrive first, carrying baskets of dew-filled rosebuds. She would hum to them, letting the melody open their kettles wide, filling the air with fragrance. The bees would wake lazily, drifting from flower to flower, while doves fluttered down to drink from crystal dewdrops. Moments later, Snow Fairy would glide in, her gown sweeping over the frost. She brought with her a new snowfall, each flake unique, each landing gently on the roses without harming them. Under her touch, the dewdrops froze into shimmering beads, making the flowers sparkle like jewels. The animals loved them both. Robins sang from the rose bushes, and snow-white rabbits hopped happily at Snow Fairy's feet. Even the foxes, usually shy, would peek from the winter side to watch. And always, the fairies would greet each other the same way. "Good morning, my frost-kissed friend," Rose Fairy would say with a smile. "And good morning, my bloom-bright sister," Snow Fairy would reply. One dawn, Rose Fairy noticed something strange. The roses near the garden's edge drooped, their pinks fading into dull gray. The bees moved sluggishly, and the sweet scent of the air seemed thinner. On the other side, Snow Fairy felt the change too. Her snow had lost its diamond sparkle, melting too quickly under an unfamiliar heat. Even the frozen ponds showed cracks, and the hush of falling snow was replaced by an eerie stillness. They met at the border, concern clouding their eyes. "This is no natural change," Snow Fairy whispered. "I feel it too," Rose Fairy said, her voice trembling. "Something is stealing our magic." From the distant forest came a whispering wind, low and cold. The shadows stretched longer, and a dark mist began to creep along the ground. The animals scurried away, sensing danger. It was the Wither, an ancient, hungry magic born from loneliness and despair. It moved like smoke but clung to the earth like roots, draining color from flowers, warmth from sunlight, and joy from the air. It had no form except darkness, and no hunger except for life. The fairies sat together on the border stone where frost met bloom. "If the wither reaches the heart of the garden," Snow Fairy said gravely, "our magic will fade, the balance will break, spring will wither, winter will thaw, and nothing will remain." Rose Fairy reached for her friend's hand. "Then we fight it, together." Snow Fairy's fingers were cool, Rose Fairy's warm, but the moment they touched, their magic hummed in the air, forming a faint circle of light around them. They swore an oath. No matter what came, they would not let fear divide them. They would guard both spring and winter, side by side. The wither crept closer each day, curling its black mist into the roots of the roses and the snowdrifts alike. It sucked the fragrance from the flowers, turning petals into dry, colorless husks. It stole the purity from the snow, leaving behind dirty slush. Rose Fairy lifted her arms, summoning vines of living roses, their thorns glowing with golden light. They surged forward, wrapping around the mist, trying to block its path. But the wither twisted, slipping through like smoke. Snow Fairy called upon a flurry, her voice sharp as wind over ice. A wall of snow and frost formed in front of the roses, freezing the creeping darkness in place. Yet even ice cracked under the wither's pressure. Hours turned into days. The garden became a battlefield, one side blooming with defiant flowers, the other glittering with unyielding frost. But the wither was cunning. One evening it split itself in two, half sliding toward the spring side, half toward the winter. Realizing they were being pulled apart, the fairies abandoned their separate defenses and ran towards the center. The wither was closing in on both sides, at once, ready to consume the heart of the garden. At the very border they met again, breathless but determined. "Together now," Snow Fairy said. Rose Fairy nodded, clasping her friend's hands. Warmth and cold surged between them, not clashing, but weaving together. The ground beneath their feet glowed as their magic fused. From the soil rose frosted roses, blossoms of deep red edged with silver ice. Their petals glowed softly, and each drop of dew was a frozen crystal. These flowers spread quickly, covering the garden in a carpet of beauty unlike anything seen before. The wither recoiled. Frosted roses could not be drained. Their magic was made of both warmth and chill, life and stillness. The shadow hissed and shrank, twisting in agony until it vanished into nothingness, leaving the air pure once more. When the battle was over, the garden no longer had two halves. Roses now bloomed under snow-laden branches. Snowflakes rested gently on blossoms without melting. Birds built nests in frosty trees, and rabbits played under rose bushes dusted with white. The fairies stood side by side, gazing at their work. "It's even more beautiful now," Rose Fairy said softly. Snow Fairy smiled. "Because it is truly ours. Both of ours." The frost roses became the symbol of their unity. Visitors from other magical realms would come to see them, leaving with the tale of how two very different hearts had saved the garden of eternal balance. From that day forward, no shadow dared enter their home, for the garden was not guarded by a season. It was guarded by a friendship so strong, even the darkest magic could not break it. Moral: differences do not weaken friendship. They strengthen it when woven together with trust, loyalty, and love.